First, the name is Nanglo. Nanglo means a big basket. The owner, he used to sell, cigarettes, tobacco, some sweets on this basket. So this is how, he started his business. So that's why all of the outlets name is, his company's name is Nanglo. Because he said, this is where I started from. And then that's the name that he has given to all of his outlets. So this is the main franchise in Nepal, the best franchise in Nepal that I've known for a long time. The owner's wife is convent educated in northeastern India. She used to read news to the Nepal television at that time. And now she does have a very exclusive kind of private school. And then she, one of the good things that my friend's son also goes in that school. And then one of the things that I like the most about in this school is that they teach a lot about morality, whereas in the other government schools they don't. And that is what I feel personally, those people are going to make a difference in the near future. Even though it is expensive, but
right.
Morality is what should be learned right from the beginning.
Okay. Good. So
I'll call this.
no, we need more about the
history.
So right. So that.
So what made him think? Okay, why did he choose deaf community? Why did he choose?
And the bakery, and because obviously he has other types of businesses as well.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is one of his many businesses.
One of his many businesses. One of his many businesses that has succeeded.
Yes.
Most of his businesses have flopped. He did start a cab company. It was called like in New York, a yellow cab company.
Right.
And then it flopped. He had about 175 cabs at that time. It was a total disaster for him. Opened outlets around Nepal. Those also failed because people are not well off to go into restaurants and to eat.
Right.
They'd rather have food at their home. Some of them they are flopped. It was sort of like not like the bakery cafe, but sort of like the exclusive ones,
Right.
And then to have paid staff over there who are from Kathmandu, living outside of Kathmandu
Right.
would be very expensive. Too hard for them to live for a long time, and then the pay was very, very high. They demanded a very high pay. That is one thing. The other thing is that why this thing, the bakery cafe is successful is because he was the one who wanted to do something unique.
Right.
One of the main reasons is that, that is what I always ask him, does he have this? Does the owner have, anything, any relatives in his family who are deaf or dumb or disabled?
Right.
I thought that was the inspiration why he wanted, this. But that was not the case, that why he wanted to have, the disabled persons working for him. Like this gentleman who just talked, he said it's more easier to work with them than with the normal person. Because with a normal person you have more demands going up every year. For them, the demands are just to survive, not to live in a luxury. So that's why I think they tend to stick with the company a lot. Number one. Number two is that the other thing what I find interesting about what his company did was that it opened for the Nepali society, the deaf and dumb. We were the Nepali society. In Nepali society, we were sort of like we used to see them in a very, very low category. Like sort of like social outcasts. We used to put them aside. But he was the one who trained them. His company was the one who trained them and then gave them a chance. And now people are, lots of people are now enjoying over here. In the evening, it's mostly packed with Nepalis because they know they cannot listen, so they talk amongst their friends. The waiters won't be eve-teasing them, so listening to them. I think that is the best thing.
So this is a different question, but not about this store per se, but you were saying yesterday that it's only been a few years that persons with disabilities have had rights.
Oh, yes.
So what was sort of the impetus for creating those rights? Were people with disabilities the ones that were advocates
Yes,
for it?
yes. They were the ones who were advocate for it.
Okay.
Like the blind people, the white stick is always with the blind person.
Right.
And then you see,
Yes.
when we go around Kathmandu, you see, the people are driving very recklessly, the motorcycles, the vans. They were the ones who did a lot of advocacy about the white stick. So now you see, now any Nepali who sees people carrying a white stick, they will, they know that he is blind or she is blind, and then they will make him cross, the street. So it's much more now opening, I think it's more with education. The more you advertise or more you advocate for the disabled, then the more people would know. Not for a negative, but for a positive.
Okay, other
Very
questions?
interesting. I still, okay, so you would see normally, because like in every country that as far as the history of disability rights go, you would see blind rights is always the first and much more advanced. And actually, the deaf population or hearing impaired population, they are usually after people with physical disabilities as far as rights, right? And like being recognized by policy or any kind of development or anything. And so it's interesting because you said, yes, there was a telecommunication with people who were blind, right? And that was what, the first?
Government.
Yes. And I just still don't know why he chose the hearing impaired population.
One of the things that I said previously was that something new, a happening thing. For business, I think for every business, if there's a unique thing, people would want to try.
Yeah.
For a normal person like me, if I had not done paragliding anywhere before, I would like to do paragliding or, fly on a microplane or do the rock climbing if I have not done it. Everybody, a normal person or an abnormal person, would like to do something different than others. I think that is what the reason over here. For his business purpose, it was sort of like an advertisement. Because, before he started this, he said, he advertised a lot of that in the radio about, disabled people working in the outlets. So that's how, people got to know and then came to know. Previously, as I said, our society, Nepali society, we used to, still in the village, we still do that. But, accepting them and giving them a right opportunity would be, you can see the change now,
Absolutely.
So just the one last question, just since I'm recording now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that telecommunication company and just explain again, like the blind that are working there, so the company name and things like that?
The company's name is Nepal Telecommunication Authority. It's it's under the Nepali government, and what they do is they have, the blind people and the disabled people have a certain, small NGOs amongst themselves. So the Nepalese government asked for proposals from those NGOs, what they are doing and what they want to do in the future. And one of the local NGO, said that they wanted to do a computer training for the blind.
Yes.
And they have been doing this computer training for the blind. And the government said, okay, if we are doing computer training, we will employ this much of people in our in the government organization. So they are now working. It's not interpersonal, relationship, communication kind of place that they work. But what they do is they do all the billings of the local people. So it's not interpersonal, but they can do the bills, they can read the bills in braille, and they can type it in computer, And every 3 months in time, all the bills that we get out for our telecommunications
Right.
are all done by the client.
Okay, that makes sense. I understand the billing now. Any more questions? All right, thank you.
Awesome.